I would hand him that over.
Yeah.
Just combine it with my microphone, and then if you ask a question, I would. Best. Then my first question is, why have you removed the scoreboard at the end of the game?
That's actually my doing, so you can blame me.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I blame you.
The big reason was we wanted the focus to be on more about the team than anything else. We found that a lot of people were kind of using the scoreboard as their primary goal in the match. There's a lot of people that would, I'm top of the scoreboard, somebody else should change. I'm going to continue playing offensive Widowmaker because I'm top of the scoreboard. And ultimately, everything in the game is always driving towards team-based action and not necessarily individual scores. You should have a good idea of how well you're doing with the medals on the bottom, or a fire effect around your portrait. So you should have that feedback. But we're not doing individual stack ranking for personal gain, essentially.
So it's not intended to come back.
It is not intended to come back.
So the first question is, what inspired you in the creation of Overwatch design? Did you have other concepts at the very beginning? Maybe it's more futuristic style, or
The style. Oh, my phone's buzzing. Sorry. Sorry about that. The design of the heroes, it was not done like all in the very beginning. It was more of a process. As we've developed the game, we look at what the game's lacking and we decide to add a hero. And that hero can come from, hey, there's a group of abilities that we really want to see in the game that we feel like will make the game a little bit more balanced, or there's a really cool character that we want to game. But the world has evolved as well as the gameplay at the same time. It's kind of been hand in hand the whole way. So there was no kind of master idea. We had some really good ideas, and we're kind of just planting the seeds and letting it grow organically.
Okay, so we're going to bounce questions all over the place here. I want to talk about respawns. The fact that some games in this genre have wave-based respawns where everyone comes back at once. In Overwatch right now, it's just 30 seconds and then you'll come back in. I've noticed that some players struggle with that concept. Can you talk about why we have the system it is now and compared to the wave-based system, perhaps?
Sure. I think a lot of it has to do with the player abilities. We want to let those things shine. We have Symmetra with her teleporter, and we have Lucio with the run. And the respawn is relatively quick right now, and we like the kill cam. We feel like you get a lot of information out of it, and being able to digest that as opposed to having that finite time of just like after 6 or 7 seconds, you're kind of back in the game. And man, I really appreciate that teleporter that's being there. I'm glad I'm spawned with Lucio, and now we're back in the action. It was more about that, letting you have the chance to understand the kill cam and respawn and play up the hero abilities a little bit more.
Okay. With the Origin Edition, we got 5, I guess, skins for heroes. Will there be more hero skins, like for my personal favorite hero, in the future?
That's a good question. We don't know that yet. The big thing for us is, as soon as we announced Overwatch, everybody was like, wow, when can I get skins? And now we have skins. We think skins are super cool. We enjoy doing it. It's really interesting with the Origin skins because we don't have a traditional narrative in the game, and those Origin skins, I mean, we literally unmasked the Reaper yesterday. So it has an opportunity to tell the story, and we like that aspect of it. They're definitely cool, and we like the idea of skins.
Blizzard mentioned that Overwatch won't be only game in the Overwatch universe. Can you tell what genres will be represented in the new universe?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Okay. Blizzard mentioned that Overwatch would be the only game in the Overwatch universe.
Oh, like
so games. Yes, maybe just genres for these games.
Yeah, I mean, we look at Overwatch as the first step of the universe. We think it's a really cool universe, and we're watching it grow. I don't know if you guys caught the panel today. There's a lot of the new shorts that are coming out, some of the graphic novels and everything. We think the world could support multiple games. Right now, we're just focused on this one.
Okay, so in the beta right now, there's a huge variance of skill levels. You know, you've got people new to FPS, but you have a lot of pros in the beta that I've run into numerous times. Can you talk a little bit about sort of the problems with balancing across those different areas, especially stuff like McCree, for example, who might be kind of bad at a low level, but he's very dangerous at a high level. Just how Blizzard are going to keep a track of that. Where are they sort of looking to focus the balance on? Perhaps is it going to be very newbie friendly, or is it going to be very pro oriented, sort of more like StarCraft 2 is, for example?
Sure. We definitely, like Bastion's another good example. He completely destroys people at lower levels, and at higher levels it's a little bit different. We're looking at balance right now. We have an upcoming balance change that we're going to do. I think coming up pretty soon. We're taking into some of that the account of some of the heroes that may be considered overpowered in the beta right now. It's not about. I think with a bigger population as well. I think that some of the lower level players will they won't get stomped as much by some of the pro teams. Ultimately, we're looking at Bastion. I think Bastion's one of the bigger outliers. He's probably the one. Him and Torbjorn, they're the two biggest challenges because at low levels they crush, high levels they're hardly played. So we're actually looking at those guys. We're actually trying to find that middle ground between. We want to make everybody viable at all levels. I mean, that's really the goal.
It's, by the way, not Torbjorn. His towers are the badass.
Yeah, at low levels people can't get past them, but at high levels you can barely keep one up. There's lots of ways around that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, the play of the game will always get the most points in this. After the play of the game, this, I don't know what it is called, but you can vote for your favorite kind of player. And do you feel that this is a problem, that the play of the game always gets the most points out of it?
Well, two things. I think there's two things on that. The first one is we're still working on the play of the game. We think that support heroes are super underrepresented in it. Like you could have sometimes they make the play of the game, as you play, but they're not represented in that. We're definitely looking at that stuff. Usually there's we're looking at different card faces that we can do. We have ideas out there of what if there was a play of the game card or something like that. We have a bunch of different ideas that we want to try in that card space. Ultimately, that card thing is just the card screen is meant to show a story of what happened in that game. Oh wow, that Symmetra had a 75% teleporter uptime and teleported 25 people. That's probably why we lost, because we couldn't take out that teleporter. As opposed to, Symmetra was top of the scoreboard. It's trying to get a little bit more details into the story of the match, the narrative of the match.
Oh, had a chance to play Overwatch here and noticed that hero gain some experience level. So can you explain how it will work?
Yeah. So it's interesting. We have we want a progression system in Overwatch. Like that's our goal. We set it from kind of the very beginning. We were on our second iteration of the progression system. We had a first one where we actually had like talents in there, which like Reaper could heal when he Wraith formed automatically. It was like when you were fighting against Reaper, you didn't know which Reaper you were fighting against. We felt like it wasn't Overwatch. You need to know the combat clarity of this is Reaper and this is how I need to deal with him. The version that's kind of downstairs, we actually pulled that progression system. It actually was pretty much done, or at least for beta. It was beta ready, and we yanked it 2 days before beta because we found in our internal playtest that it was promoting the wrong behavior. It was hero-centric, which means I want to level Widowmaker for whatever reason, whatever your motivation is, whether it's just to get, at the time we had nice portrait borders and stuff like that, like you just wanted to move your hero up that level, which totally competed with the assemble your team's phase and, you have too many snipers. Well, they're all trying to level up to level 10 or whatever it is. So it just was completely counter to the team-based thing. So we pulled it. We want to put the focus different. We have some ideas. We're pretty confident in them, and we think it's going to be cool when it gets in there. We hope to have it in beta at some point.
So one of the big announcements that was recently revealed was that there's going to be Overwatch on consoles. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sort of curious how the balance on PC and balance on consoles is going to sort of progress in future. So, for example, Widowmaker could be very strong on PC because you have a mouse, whilst you might be a bit weaker on consoles because you have to use the gamepad, that kind of thing. Are we going to see them all be homogenized, or are they potentially going to bifurcate at some point?
We hope to keep them at like 1-to-1, and so far we play every day on the consoles. We think it plays super good. Like we love playing on it, and we haven't had to adjust much. I mean, the traditional console stuff that you have to do with the mapping of the controls and making sure that all works, but gameplay wise, virtually no difference between the two.
Okay, one simple question. At what point the new Three Heroes will be in the beta?
I think it's next week. I think we're shooting for late next week or the following week after. You'll have May, Genji, and Diva, and Hollywood in the beta.
Great.
So previously, Overwatch developers said that they give priority to adding more new heroes, but not new maps. But choice of hero depends on the map, on the role of team, defense or attack. So by going to add more mods, scenarios to the game where both teams are offensive or defensive.
Oh, in terms of game modes, we've prototyped so many. Like we had a prototype of capture the flag at some point in there, which was nothing. Everybody was tracer. Like it turned into something that was very, very not Overwatch. You know, it wasn't really clicking. We are always prototyping new game modes. We're super open to it. But the most important thing is when we find something that still has the values of what Overwatch is, which is team versus team core combat in a space that's more of a playground and less of, doesn't really force the game mode as much. It's all about that, but I think there's that private game match allows you to do that stuff. At least, with gentleman rules, essentially. Like, okay, well, let's try it, and you can experiment as much as you want. We're open to tons of stuff. We love experimenting and trying some of that things. We see crazy compositions, the all six bastions versus the all, you know what I mean? Like, we think they're a lot of fun, but there's no specific plans right now to do something like that.
Okay, again, possibly a short question. Consoles and the Battle.net, are they combined? So can I play on a PlayStation 4 alongside with a guy from PC, or is it
There's no cross-platform play.
sad?
Many people wonder when we'll see ranked games, competitive or tournament modes on Overwatch. Can you give more details on the competitive aspect of the game?
Yeah, I think there's two aspects to it, and both systems we don't have anything to get into details on, but we definitely think a ranked system would work beautifully in Overwatch, and there's the other route, which is the esports route, and you can see some of that stuff is planted as the observer mode in the private match right now. We're working on ways to make Overwatch extremely watchable from a PvP standpoint. But yeah, we love all the competitive modes, rank play, and esports.
So during the during the panel for Overwatch, we got to see some interesting statistics. So, for example, Symmetra has the highest chance to win at the moment, which one of my friends is going to be very happy about.
She's really good.
Is there any more sort of surprising statistics that have bubbled up that you know off the top of your head about the beta, things that you might not have expected to see?
Not expected to see. Well, the Symmetra one, I think it's more surprise for other people because I think she's not shooting rockets. You know what I mean? Her play style is a little bit more subdued. I mean, there's some really aggressive Symmetras out there that can be awesome, but her teleporter is so key, and the way that she can defend and set stuff up, and her shields are amazing. Like, if the other team doesn't have shields and you have 50 more health that regenerates each time, I think it's a big advantage. So we kind of saw that one coming as well. For the most part, it's been pretty on par with what we've seen all along, which is a good sign. We know now, like with the larger population, kind of where we need to massage the abilities and the numbers.
We spoke about the system where players gave points to other players and where you can get epic and legendary medal. Will this count anything in the game? So will there be displayed that I got 10 legendaries and 20,
Yeah, so we have some ideas for it. Like there's an idea that we're chasing down. We're going all over the place. So some sort of collection aspect where you can kind of keep your most prestigious cards. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like we think they can be cool, and you should be excited when you get one. You should be excited when they go epic or legendary, and you should be able to show it off at some point. So we have some more plans for it for sure.
So, from question from community, if a player order Overwatch, does he automatically get the beta?
No. Negative.
I can actually see that you guys have like long lists of questions, so if you want to just take the next one, that's fine. No, go ahead.
It's from me, okay.
No, just go ahead.
Okay, 9 minutes, yeah. We spoke about Symmetra. I realized that she can damage through the shield of Reinhardt. Is that intent?
Yep. She can go through any barrier. Bastion, she's actually a really strong anti-Bastion. Like, if you can't get behind her, you want to flank, just send that slow-moving ball right at him. And if he gets up and moves, that's great. Your team should push immediately. If he doesn't, he's just going to take it right in the face.
So, talking about heroes, what's your favorite hero? I think it's Tracer, but
Why do you think that?
another one, maybe top 3.
Top 3?
Yes, and explain why from you.
I love Tracer. I love Tracer not just necessarily because she's, you know, like we all feel like she's like our daughter or something like that. You know, she's a very, you know, she kind of represents Overwatch in a strange way. Like her pistols are awesome, and then her blink is amazing. The first time you recall as Tracer, I think, when you play a video game, is kind of just like, what? Like it feels awesome. Her pulse bomb is devastating, but it's not until you start to use them all in synergy and in harmony and start to get Reinhardt and you're blinking back and forth and he's flipping because he can't find you. It's more about that represents kind of the core values of what Overwatch is. So I love her. Genji is pretty amazing. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play Genji. His reflect is one of the funnest things in the game. It can reflect Zarya's Graviton Surge back at her, so she gets sucked in. You can reflect McCree's stun. You can reflect sniper shots, which is amazing. Sometimes the sniper's shooting in a doorway. Widowmaker's like shooting at you, and maybe she has vision, so she knows you're going to come up. So she's just waiting to see your head, but she doesn't know that you have the reflect on. So when you come up and you're looking at her, she snipes herself in the head, which is pretty glorious.
So one of the things I've seen develop in the beta is sort of a weird meta thing of where people will just keep pushing the point, playing normal, and then suddenly the enemy team will swap to say like 3 Winstons and a Lucio, and that swap to a huge amount of tankiness can catch you really off guard. Is there any sort of advice you could give to people who could try and deal with that, or anything you guys have seen in your internal tournaments and stuff that I know you guys run, similar to that meta and handling that kind of thing?
Usually, I mean, we have lots of anti-tank. I mean, I think Reaper versus Winston is brutal. It's super brutal. Same with Reinhardt or any of them. Symmetra's really good. Her beams, because they kind of freak out. Like when they're going through, they don't think that they're gonna get. If you can get them to flip, like Reinhardt or something like that, if you get him to flip, all of a sudden exposes them. Roadhog is really good. I know he's a tank too, but anything with a big spread, Tracer's really good against them because you can get away and get them to chase you, and then the ult, because the ult is a little like chaotic, you can kind of dodge it a little bit. Bastion's really good. Just chewing through, especially against the monkey. I mean, he can jump behind you, but if you're coordinated with that, if you have a Reaper sitting back there, like, you know, come on, you try it. But when they put up that dome, if he's holding down that left click, it'll nuke a shield, no problem.
Okay, one really short question. If you buy the console version, do you get automatically the PC version?
No, you do not.
It's a shame.
Talking about skins, now there are, like in Pierce of the Storm, skins for all hero. Is there any chance to have separate skins for weapons or part of clothes?
I'm sorry, these guys are loud. That's the last part.
Special skins for weapons or some
for
parts
weapons.
of the equipment.
So not for whole hero, just for part of them.
Okay. The skins that we have right now are 100% the whole thing, including the weapon. So all the skins, like for instance, if you look at the Strike Commander Morrison, his gun is a little different even too. So, but it's a head-to-toe and weapon thing.
So Overwatch, so it was recently announced how you buy the game, and from what I understand, it's a full price game. It's $60.
$60 for Origin Edition, and then there's a just the base version for $40 on PC.
Could you talk about a little bit about what drove that decision and the pricing method that you guys ended up on?
I'd rather say that's a business decision.
Okay, that's
so.
fine.
So I imagine you also don't know if you will releasing new heroes after the initial 25, I guess?
21.
21. Oh, okay. 21 separately or in a add-on?
Yeah, this has come up a couple of times. For us, it's more about focusing on the 21. We want to release the game with 21, and wherever it goes from there, we don't know. Like, we don't have plans to just, okay, here's 1,000 more heroes. We think the game feels really good. I think people in the beta are going to see what happens when a hero gets dropped on them. We've known it because at one time we had 8 heroes, and then we added 2 more, and we didn't know the number was going to be 21 for ship, but it feels right for us, and it's less about here's all the different heroes you're going to get. It's more about, do we even need to do that? Is the community is 21